we were pissing neon green every day.
The big ball of heat in the sky was too much.
I thought there was a bear.
Reality goes, yeah, fresco. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, everybody. What's up, everybody?
Welcome to
StouryTime.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Storytime with John and Friends. I'm your host, John. Today's guest recently released a new record this past September with his band Godseyes, titled Progress Regress via No Sleep Records. Please join me in welcoming my new friend, Nick Picerno. Nick, thanks so much for being on the show, man.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
So what's up? My name is Nick. I do vocals in a band called Godseyes from Long Island, New York. We've been a band since end of 2016, early 2017. We put a record out last year with No Sleep, and we've just been doing as much DIY touring as possible just to promote the record. And that's pretty much what we've been going on.
That's awesome. Congratulations on the release, especially on No Sleep. That's a very big accomplishment.
Thank you.
The record slaps. It is chaotic and heavy and everything I want in a hardcore record.
Hell yeah. Thanks. I'm glad it comes across that way because that's what we were definitely going for. So.
Absolutely. It actually, I want to ask what the influences were behind while writing this record, because I definitely get somewhat of a Chariot vibe at times.
Chariot, the Chariot in general, since we started this band was when me and one of our guitar players, Brett, when we sat down and started the band, we were like, what do we want this band to be like? And we were like, yo, man, Chariot. The Chariots, that's like their live show, the way they sound, how they're just like purposely sloppy and a mess. Like that whole vibe, I think is in a lot of ways a lost art in the music scene right now. So that's definitely like one of our main influences for sure.
Absolutely. That what is it? Organized chaos.
Yes. Yeah.
And especially with the void of them being gone, there really hasn't been, as far as I know, I haven't seen any footage of like a band that really is taking over the reins. So I watched some of your guys' stuff, and you guys definitely move around quite a bit. So it's cool to see a new band kind of taking the reins.
It's funny because like I'll watch, like going back to the Chair thing, you watch videos of them and I'm like, I don't know how they did that every single song. Like if you watch a whole set, like there's this one set they have from Moscow, and if you watch like the whole 40-minute set, they were like instruments in the air, like 100% the whole entire time. And we have like a couple songs where we'll be going, and then we have like two songs where we're like, all right, these are like the just bob your head kickback songs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, there'll never be another like them.
I mean, I hope someday there is. Somebody needs to take over the reins, and that could be you guys. So,
hey, we'll see.
I also I made note here. I really dig the saxophone and slow jazz mix kind of sprinkled throughout. Oh, yeah. It like adds to the chaos a little bit, which it's just so well done too. So good job with that. That's who in the band plays sax? Is there anybody? Is there someone in the band?
No. So there's this band called Keep Flying from Long Island.
Yeah, they were on the show.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool. Yeah. So John, who plays sax and Keep Flying, I hit him up and I was like, yo, I got this really weird idea for our record. And you tell me if you think it'll work. So then he came over and we jammed a couple like the interludes and stuff that we did. And we were like, oh, I think this will be really cool. Mm-hmm. So we wound up putting it on, and it came out like pretty much exactly how we envisioned it. Cause I was listening to Shape of Punk to Come by Refused.
Yeah.
And they have like all those little skits in between and like just like weird stuff where you're like, I don't know if this means something, but it just sounds cool.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something like that. So obviously it's like, a little different, but I think it ties into the chaos pretty well, kind of like what you were saying.
Yeah, for sure. What was the writing process like for this record?
So this record was actually written during COVID, so it was weird.
Okay.
Yeah. So we, at the time, our original guitar player had just left, and then we had gotten a new guitar player, Flavio, and pretty much he joined the band and started writing that record with us. And at the time, he was listening to a lot of like Gallows and like Alexis on Fire. He's into a lot more like, we're like Comeback Kid, more like I guess like punky hardcore. I don't know if punky is the right word, but I think power chord hardcore. And I guess him being influenced by that mixed with us being very like Norma Jean, Chariot, Converge vibe made the record that we made. And it was we wrote the record during COVID. By the time we got to shop it and get it with No Sleep, Brett had come back, and now we're a 5-piece, and now we're writing new stuff with the two of them. But yeah, that was like definitely a really weird. The title is definitely pretty accurate with where we were at as a band.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and I did see you had your past release. What was the last one?
Safe House, the EP.
Yeah. The one before that, it was
the one before Progress Regress.
Yeah, you guys kind of did the same thing where it was the two words.
Oh, Suppress Repress.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that was like our like demo.
Oh, okay, yeah. So is there like what's the meaning behind it?
So Suppress Repress, that we did like a 2-song demo, and we were trying to think of what we were gonna call it, and then I don't remember if it was me or if it was our guitar player Brett, but one of us suggested, like, after reading the lyrics, we were like, oh, Suppress Repress is kind of like, it's like a 2-part song that's kind of dealing with, it's pretty obvious with the words, just suppress, repress. It's like the back and forth kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then Brett threw the artwork together. He put those dashes in there, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I've seen bands do that. It looks cool.
Yeah.
And then when we were doing this record, going back to like us having lineup changes, and, I think everyone during COVID was dealing with a bunch of weird internal personal stuff. So Progress Regress kind of just fit and encompassed just the state of the band and where I was at personally with writing the lyrics. And then I was like, oh, it would be cool to do the dashes and kind of like a callback to the first demo that we did. Right. So I don't know if it's like a theme we'll keep doing, but I thought it was cool to kind of, for the first full length, to kind of just go from where we started kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. Let's see here. Now, I usually have people come on and share some tour stories. Tour stories. And I reached out to you. You said you got plenty, so let's hear them.
Yeah.
Let's dive right in.
Yeah. Do you want me to just jump into one random?
Yeah, whatever you want to share first.
So the first one that came to mind when you asked me, like, oh, like, what are some tours? So I kind of like, how many tours ago was this? This was, sometime last year.
Okay.
But we did a tour with this band called Fall 50 Feet. I don't know if you're familiar with those guys.
No, I've not heard of that band.
Yo, hit them up. They're really cool guys, and they're a really sick band, and like that same like mathcore chaotic vibe. They're sick.
Okay, absolutely.
Shout out to them. But we were doing, that's when it was. It was like last November, like right after Thanksgiving into December, and we were doing a tour to No Sleep Fest in Texas. And we were playing a show in Dallas at this record store called Black Cat Records. And we had a fill-in on guitar. His name's Nick. It's just a friend of mine that I was in a band with in the past, and we've known for a really long time. And he, that tour, every time this guy's filled in for us, been on tour, like something bad has happened to him, and I don't know why. Like, it's like he's like a target, but I'm hopefully if he fills in the future, nothing else happens. But the first thing was we were in. Actually, let me backtrack. We were in Atlanta. And we were like sitting on the front lawn of this house we were staying at. He got bit by a tick and he got Lyme's disease.
Oh no!
So that's how tour started.
Wow.
But he powered through it and he finished the tour, and like he was like, all right, I'll just take care of it when I get home. And he just like slept a lot in between the shows. And then fast forward to a couple weeks go by, and then he's on another tour with us. We're in Dallas. Sorry if I'm jumping around a bit.
Oh, you're good.
We're in Dallas and we're playing at this record store. There was only one bathroom in the record store, and it was like a pretty, not packed, but there was a good amount of people there. So the bathroom was like, there was a constant line, like the whole entire night. And like, I don't know if everybody was just like taking a But like every time somebody went on there, is it cool if I
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Every time like someone would go in there, it would be like 30 minutes, and we're like, dude, I don't know what's going on. If there's like a glory hole or everyone has to shit, but it was just like this line of people that nobody could get past. So everyone started just like going around to where all the tour vans were parked and just like, pissing by the van, whatever. And Nick was over there walking around with Brett, our other guitar player. And apparently there was a giant manhole in the ground, and they're just walking, having a conversation, and he winds up falling in the manhole, not knowing it was there. Totally, completely bruising the whole side of his leg, like messing up his hip, totally getting jacked up. And like Brett comes running over to me. He's like, yo, dude, you got to come over here. Nick fell in a manhole. So I'm expecting like this, like huge, like he's stuck. Yeah. That's what I'm picturing. Yeah. But it's just like, it's just like a waist up thing. So then when the rest of everybody discovered that it was like a waist up thing, then a bunch of people just started going in there and pissing in there because there's no bathroom. So that tour story always sticks out to me. And then a couple weeks after that, the same dude got food poisoning, and we had to pull over, and he was puking on the side of the road. So
what a rough go. Was that his first tour?
That was the second tour he did with us.
Like ever though?
With us, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's ridiculous.
He's a touring sound guy. He does like front of house stuff for like other bands sometimes. But that was like the first time he was out with us, and like, shout out to Nick Sessanna. I love you, dude. But like, I feel so bad. It's like Lyme disease, falls in a manhole.
That's ridiculous. You said he fell in a manhole, and all I could think of is like the cartoons or whatever when they just like go whoop woo like straight down all the way.
That's exactly what it was like the way Brett would be so perfect to tell the story. But the way he describes it, they were just walking and talking, and all of a sudden he falls, and he's just like, it's funnier because he didn't break anything.
Yeah, for sure.
It would be less funny if he actually got hurt. But.
Yeah, if he got hurt, then it's not funny at all. But absolutely, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Now, I see here you guys are playing Fest this year.
Yeah.
Very cool. I played Fest 14 years ago with my old band. I was in a band called The Traditional. We were on a label outside of LA, an indie label, Anchor 84 Records.
Oh, sick.
But yeah, it was
dude, that's awesome.
Dude, Fest is a lot of fun.
Sick.
But there's so much beer.
Dude, so much beer. I have a couple friends that have played it, and like I've gotten like mixed reviews. Like a lot of people saying it's awesome, it's overwhelming, it's okay. So I'm stoked regardless, just because there's already a lot of bands I just want to see. Yeah. So aside from playing, I'm just stoked to see, a lot of bands I'm just into. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's definitely a blast. And like, there's bands that'll do like cover sets, but of entire records. So sick. when we were there was I forget who it was, but somebody did Blink-182 record.
Oh, nice.
And then there was like a Fall Out Boy one. Like people go nuts for it. It's a blast. There's also a burrito place on the corner of one of the streets. You got to go there. They're great. I forget what they're called, but shout out that place.
Sick. Hell yeah. I'll check it out.
So you did send me a little list of just a few ideas here, and I'm very curious about the random barn you played in South Carolina.
Oh yeah. So this was so early. I mean, this might have been 2 years ago at this point, but we were on tour with this band called Terror Cell from Richmond, Virginia, and we were playing in Greer, South Carolina. Never been to Greer, South Carolina, never heard of it. Then when we got into town, it was just kind of one of those, like, it's farmland and there's like a Walmart down the street and that's it. Like that was all that was going on over there. So we were like, I don't know, this show's either going to be so awesome or it's going to be like the worst time ever. We pulled up, it's just some dude's house and then like this little shack in the backyard that was like a barn, but it was like quite literally a shack. You could probably fit like, if there's 50 people in there, it's packed, like packed. long story short, we pulled up. We were like, all right, it's going to be like that. Let's just play and see what happens. An hour after doors or an hour into doors, there was like
after gates. It's after gates at a farm.
After gates. Sorry. After barn sliding doors. Like 100 kids show up.
Yeah. Wow.
Just like termites out of nowhere. Everyone was super nice, but like, dude, there's like a bonfire. There's a dude driving an ATV around. There's this guy in a chef, just a chef apron making corn chowder. That's like so specific to me. And it was good, dude. It was also really good. And there's bands playing, and it's just like in the middle of this like barn random area. It's like when I mentioned to you, like, I felt like an episode of Viva La Bam. Like that's why, just because there's just so much random chaos. Like people are skating, it was dope.
Yeah.
But we wound up playing the show. There was like 100 people packed into this little barn. It sounded terrible, but I don't think anybody cared because everyone was having a good time. We wound up like ripping off the chariot, playing on the roof move.
Mm-hmm.
And it wound up being a really great time. I found out recently they stopped doing shows there. We were going to try to go back because we were like, dude, we should go back there like one more time just to experience that again. But I think that was it. But we have like somebody snapped like a little Polaroid of while we were playing on the roof. So we taped it in the van. So we have that as like a little, all right, remember that time we played on these little band moment.
That's awesome, man. That sounds like a blast, honestly.
Yeah.
So with how much you guys move around, do you guys do anything to like prepare for when you perform? Like you're doing stretches and everything beforehand?
Oh, I gotta stretch. Dude, it's funny. We're always talking about this because I'm the only one in the band that's not in their 30s yet. So I'll be 30 this October. And aside from that, I've worked for FedEx for like 10 years, so my back is shot.
You don't gotta tell me. I just got a nerve block today.
Oh God. Hell yeah, dude. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, dude, don't worry.
Sorry, continue. Your back shot.
No, you're good. Yeah, so my back shot, and like everybody in our band, we all work like construction. Everyone, one of our guys, he owns a flooring company. One of our other dudes owns a painting company. So it's like everyone's doing like construction and has bad necks and backs. So like if we don't stretch, we're hurting pretty bad. So definitely stretching and trying to eat healthy. I've been trying really hard to like not just eat Wawa sandwiches every time. So
yeah, is everybody in the band giving you the warning? The check engine light kind of just turns on at 30.
Dude, my check engine light's been on since like 21.
I feel that. You have no idea. I just had a double spinal fusion last November.
Holy crap, dude!
Yeah, I'm all jacked up, man. It's
how
genetics.
You feeling?
I feel
doing?
Today I feel like trash only because I got the injections and they like burn the nerves. So for the next year I won't feel pain in certain spots. But yeah, man, it was a whole thing. I just actually got back to work, so I'm starting to feel much better, but still a thing.
That's that's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
What do you do for work, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm an electrician. I do construction.
Dude, let's go. So, funny story. I'm about to be an electrician again. Because my brother's been an electrician for like, he's 40 and he's been an electrician since he was like 14. Mm-hmm. So for forever. But he just partnered up with like a friend of his and started his own business. So I've been away from FedEx for a year and I'm about to start working with him because he's in a touring band too. And it's going to make tour life easy because I don't have to explain to him. I just, hey, I got a tour and I just go. So shout out to Rick, my brother, because he's
shout out
electrician, Rick. Man. Yeah, dude. Dude, that sucks on the back.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's genetics. I have a degenerative disc disease I got from my dad. Damn. So it just is what it is.
Dang it, Dad.
You're right. Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. Now I'm an electrician in pain always.
Yeah. It's no different than before I was an electrician in pain always, but whatever.
Well, I hope things are looking up for you, dude.
Appreciate it, man. They are indeed getting better. So back to the podcast here. Less about me, more about you. No, you're good, man. What's a dream tour?
I'm interested in the electrician back problem talk. I'm all about
dude.
it.
Any questions? I'm here.
Dude, like, listen, we're a bunch of construction workers from Long Island. All we want to do is talk trash and complain about our bodies. So
I fucking love that.
That's the deal, dude.
That's electricians, dude. That's all they do is complain about everything.
Yeah. Everyone just wants to sandbag each other.
Yeah, dude. That's all it is.
Yeah.
If you could pick who you could do a tour with, what would your dream tour be?
Ooh, I could pick anybody?
Anybody, dead or alive.
Oh, dang. Well, obviously, dude, that Chariot reunion tour.
For sure.
That would be like probably in top 3 for sure. Botch.
Okay.
They just came back. They just came back and did all the reunion stuff, and they said that was it. They were just doing their rounds, and that was it. But that would be another. That's like another band that's like a huge influence for me and Brett specifically.
Well, they came back once, so it's not impossible to bring them back.
It's
again.
not. I thought. Listen, for a moment, I was like, all right, they're not coming back. They're going to do the shows at home, and then that'll be it. And then they announced the tour, and then I started to think like, yo, maybe we're getting a record. But
yeah. That would have been sick.
I don't know. I would have been sick. But yeah, definitely the Chariot, Botch. It's like a tough third. But maybe I should say one that's like outside of the box. That shouldn't happen. Let's go. Ooh, all right. Let's go Interpol.
Okay.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite bands. I could list off a million heavy bands I'd want to tour with, but Interpol would be super sick.
Hell yeah. So next year, we have Forgetting Pedalboards for a whole tour. How?
Oh, dude.
How?
Dude. All right. This story sucks. So this is this the Manhole tour? Dude, this is the Manhole tour.
Okay.
Yeah. So our guitar player Flavio, like I mentioned before, he owns a painting business. So he does most of the tours with us, but there's usually like he'll have to sometimes do every other just because he's like the boss. So he's got to be around.
He's got responsibilities.
He's got responsibilities. Exactly. So we played a show Black Friday in Brooklyn, and Flavio played that with us. Normal lineup. Everything was good. Some point, so after that show, we had to drive overnight because the next day we were playing in Indianapolis. So we had to drive from Brooklyn to Indianapolis. It was like, I don't know, like a 14-hour drive or something like that. It was far. So we were like, yo, after we play the show, we'll just drive a couple hours that night, or we'll just drive all the way through the night. So as we're loading out, at some point, Flavio took someone else's pedal boards and left his pedal board. And now the pedal board that he wound up taking is like the one that runs all our samples.
Oh,
it has
no.
It has like the whole setup is on that pedal board, which is Adam, our bass player's pedal board. They have similar looking cases, and they both have stickers all over them. So I don't know if just like, since it was dark and he was trying to get out of there, he just didn't really check. But like I helped him throw stuff, and like somehow wires got crossed and that happened. So we leave that show. We're on our way there. We get to the venue in Indianapolis. Everything's awesome. We're stoked. We start to set up on stage, and Adam goes, "Dude, this isn't my pedal board." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like that's it right there." And he's like, "Dude, this doesn't have the Jam Man, and the Jam Man is that's our set right there, right there. Yeah. That's our spooky noises in between everything." So we're totally. This is the first time it happened, but I guess like just from him saying that completely derailed everybody. I put everybody in like a panic, and we're like, "Dude, what do we do?" I don't know. And also, like, he doesn't have any of his pedals. He doesn't have his tuner. He doesn't have anything that his tone comes from. So he just has to like plug in and kind of quick.
Yeah, mess with
like,
some shit.
We're not really getting sound checks. We played like, this was like in like some random warehouse in Indianapolis, so it wasn't like a legit venue or anything.
Yeah.
So we kind of did like a throw and go, figured it out. Maybe like 3 days into the tour, we finally had Flavio nail the jam man to, I think we were in OKC maybe.
Okay.
And we picked it up from there. It cost us like $100 to ship it or something, but then we were back on track. I mean, like we could have did the tour without the samples, but it definitely helps us buy some time when we're a little tired. So we were like, all right,
get those breathers.
We need to get those breathers. But
what did you do to improvise for those first couple shows?
Dude, well, that first show was so weird because we don't have the samples. And then I'm like, I remember saying, not having the samples is also bad because then that gives me opportunities to say dumb things. And that happens every single time. We're like, I'll do the normal, thanks for checking us out. We got merch, blah, blah, blah. But then I'll wind up saying other stuff, which it's like, I'll listen back to a video and I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, what are you doing? But there was this kid, there were these two kids moshing like right in front of me the whole time. And they were like, dude, like chugging milk while they were, dude, my wife just went, ew, like in the back. She's like chug, like they were like passing back and forth this gallon of chocolate milk. And like I'm so discombobbled from like the whole not having our pedal board thing. And like the only thing I could think of, I'm like, yo, what's up? We're Godseyes. I'm like, these guys are drinking milk. That's crazy. And I couldn't think of like anything else to say because I'm just so like, I don't know what's going on. And then it was the first time we ever you ever see like people, they like row in the pit?
Yeah. Yeah.
They did like a 10 guy like rowing thing and they're like drinking milk. And then the kid like has the audacity to offer some to me. And I'm like, this is the worst show ever. Like this, like it was actually like churning my stomach, like watching like the milk slosh around and like the kids are jumping. I'm like, this kid's going to be so sick. Like, I don't know. Like, and like, dude, he offers it to me. And like in the mic, I'm just like, dude, you're bugging. If you think I'm going to drink your sloshy spit mosh milk.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
So that, how did we even get on that? Did I just completely derail the story?
You were talking about the first show of the tour.
Yeah, that was okay. Yeah, so that was the start of that tour. But I think 3 shows of doing the no samples, I was like getting the hang of it. And then by the time we got to I think it was like after the Chicago show, or no, OKC, I think, we finally got the samples back. And then actually Fall 50 Feet, they were like, oh, so that's what your set's supposed to be like. And we're like, yeah. So
that's
we
funny,
can
man.
do it without it, but it's always better if we got it because then, I don't have to just blabber about nonsense.
Yeah. What is the like weirdest fan interaction you've had? Aside from the chocolate milk.
Dude, that one, and like those kids... that's definitely, I would say that one. And like, they're not like, they weren't even fans. They were just kids that were going nuts for it. He bought a shirt, which is sick.
Yeah.
But he was in there the whole time. But I would say that would be one of them. Is just like, and like the other weird thing is he had the milk and he was just like following me back and forth, like right in front of me the whole time. And I was like, I'm like, I don't know if like I'm having a miserable time or if this is awesome or not. I don't know. But like,
did he spill any?
Dude, he was like sloshing it all over the place. Like it was like and he had his shirt off and everything.
I love this story.
Yeah. I could tell, like, I was like, this kid's definitely like 16 or something. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah. And he's edge or something. So he's not drinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. But other than that,
do you have any,
a fan.
Do you have any?
Like oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, do you have any fan interactions that are just memorable? But sorry, I kind of cut you off there.
Oh no, you're good. Well, I thought of a random thing. We were playing in Tampa once, and we played with this band called Shining Wizard, and they're like a luchador wrestling themed grindcore band.
That's sick. Do they wear costumes? Because that'd be better.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes. They wear costumes. They have like the fake glass and they're like smashing bottles and they have chairs and they're actually like really good too. Like it's not like just like nonsense music. Like they actually riff. But this band is playing, and the venue was so small that they had to have the merch set up out front of the venue, just like in the parking lot. And it was at this biker bar. And I don't know why I thought about this, but random interactions. There was just like this guy at the show eating like cigarette butts out of the ashtray.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like me and the rest of the guys were sitting at the merch table and we're like, dude, there's a wrestling themed grindcore band playing. And we're just watching this dude eat cigarette butts out of an ashtray at a biker bar.
What?
Where are we right now? where are we right now? So not a fan interaction, but and it wasn't even an interaction. It was just a witnessing thing. But that was kind of funny.
Still very interesting and ridiculous.
Yeah.
One of my favorite fan interactions, and we weren't even kind of at the table we were performing, was we played with Every Time I Die for a Christmas show.
Sick.
The hometown homies, you know, same group of friends and stuff. But so we were playing the show, and you know, we're like a emo pop punk band, like, you know, rock and roll emo band, whatever.
Yeah.
And so we're definitely like the weirdest, most out of place on the bill. And apparently a friend of ours that was watching merch for us said somebody walked from the pit, walked to our merch table. We had a frame with like all the prices and everything for our merch, just punched it, shattered the glass, it went everywhere, and just walked back into the pit.
And
I was like,
someone who was like down with you guys.
I don't know. I take that as like they were like, fuck this band. Pow! And just like went back.
They were like, this band sucks. And
I need to
the only
go
way
do
I can express it. Yeah.
I need to do something. Yeah, no,
that's awesome.
I love that story. I think it's hilarious, man.
I love that. I'm trying to think of like something like, I'm sure there's something like that I'm not thinking of, but maybe it'll come to me the more we talk. But I'm sure there's something, because like, oh man, I don't know. There's got to be something like that. But
do you guys do any pranks or anything on tour? Any tour games?
We're pretty bad at like pranking. We try, but we like suck at it. Like it'll just be like putting like a funny sticker on a window, and then it's like, oh, okay.
It's a long prank. That's a long prank, dude.
Yeah. We were on tour with our buddies in a band called Meadows. I know you've had them on too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we were like trying to prank them, and they were so just like unamused and unfazed. Not like I'm sure they thought it was funny, but it was so like finally like one of them was like, dude, we got to show you how to prank, because like I don't know, like we were just putting like stupid like what the stickers were. It was just like I heart moms and stuff. Like it was just like not even like we were like, this is so funny, but it was bad. But they ended up getting us back. They put like a support Trump thing on our
God.
Dude, we drove like 6 hours with that thing on there.
Wow.
And like we were pulling out of the venue, and I remember a bunch of kids were like looking and laughing, and I'm like, wow, I wonder why they're laughing at. Maybe they just think like, because we drive like this it's like a mini school bus.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, maybe they just think the bus is funny, but we had like a support Trump like support Trump thing on it. And then like Stone from Meadows was like, yo, what the guys thinking? Like Adam, our bass player, he like was like actually mad. He's like, people probably think we're assholes. So it's like, dude, I'm like, it's all good. And then I remember Stone was just like, oh man, I hope Adam's not actually mad at me. I'm like, oh, he'll be fine.
So,
like that. You actually pranked us.
Yeah, so. you got us good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did they teach you odds or anything like that?
Odds.
The odds game? Like, what are the odds?
They didn't teach us odds, but they taught us. You ever heard of a game called Big Blue Moon?
No, I don't think
so.
All
right, we shouldn't get into it because it's so. This podcast episode is going to wind up being like 3 hours long.
Okay.
But if anyone knows how to play Big Blue Moon, there's this other game they taught us called Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo. Yeah. They learned that from this band called Bungler from Buffalo.
I remember Bungler.
Yeah, so those are homies too. Yeah.
Sick, dude. That's awesome. I saw Bungler with Until We Are Ghosts. Do you remember those guys?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
But
yeah, so I was getting buffaloed all tour. It was terrible.
We'll have to get you on another time and just strictly talk about this moon game.
I think the best way to do this, if you're down, I think this is great, is for if someone from Godseyes and someone from Meadows or whatever comes on the show and we just start playing and then you try to figure it out, I think that would be like, it might take some time. You might get quick.
I bet we could make this happen. I'm just saying.
Let me know because
I will.
I think that would be actually pretty hilarious.
I'll have to reach out to Stone or Armando and see.
Yeah, definitely.
That's funny.
Just be like, yo, Big Blue Moon on a podcast, and they'll probably just be like, oh man.
Yeah. So odds is just like, basically, someone can say, what are the odds you'll do this? And it could be something ridiculous. And you can pick a number from 1 to whatever. Like, usually the band will have a rule. It could be 1 to 100. And then someone counts down from 3. You both say a number. If you say the same number, that person has to do it. Like the person that was oddsed.
I feel like Greg from Actor Observer taught me this one.
Okay, I know those dudes too.
Yeah, I know you had Kyle on.
I had Kyle on, yeah.
If it was that same game or if it was something similar to that.
Yeah.
But I remember them playing it and us being like, no, I'm good. but that sounds fun though. That sounds fun. So I would definitely be down with that.
It's fun when you're not the one who has to do something stupid. So.
Dude, we learned this other game. You ever heard of the game Birdman?
I don't think so. I think I've heard of it. I don't know what it is though.
It's so dumb, but I'll explain it to you quick. So pretty much, long story short, if you like get sworn in as a Birdman, you agree to play the game, you have to follow the rules. No matter what's going on, what you're doing, you have to. So long story short, if someone gives you one of these, if you look at them when they do that, you have to lay on the ground. So if it's in the middle of you playing and you're like playing guitar or something, you have to lay down. Or if you're online at a Chick-fil-A or whatever, you have to lay down. The only way you won't, if you like see in your peripherals and you give them the monocle, that's the only way to get out of it. But if you like look and I can just Birdman you real quick, you like so that tour with Meadows, we were like Birdmanning each other the whole time.
Wow.
So like while they were playing, like there were several times where like someone had to lay down in the middle of the set, or like we were at like a cookout getting food and you have to like lay down in the middle of the line. So
wow, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, stupid.
Dude, tour games are the best though, because they make the time go by a little bit easier. And you got to kind of stay on your toes too, because you're all best friends, so you're just trying to like get each other, you know? So. Yeah,
dude, that was like Buffalo. Like they having such a good time hanging with them that I just fell for it every time.
Yeah.
Like it got to the point where like Armando like handed me his coffee. And like I took it and he's like, oh, Buffalo. And I had to like, and I like don't do caffeine. So like I chugged the coffee and I was wired. And then we had to play. So I guess it worked out because I got to like work it off. But
that's funny, man. That is too funny. There's also a sandwich game where like, I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but basically if somebody's holding something, you're like, how's that sandwich? And they don't say this is not a sandwich. The next time they put it down, you can just punch it as hard as you want. It's the worst, dude.
Sucks.
Yeah, it's the worst, especially when you're on like, $10 per diem a day and you get, Chick-fil-A or something and someone's just like, how's that sandwich? You're like, what? Boom! And it just, explodes everywhere.
My bandmates would get so mad.
Everyone does, unless you're the one doing it. It's great, but also the worst game.
All right, I'm gonna have to talk to everyone about that one. That one sounds fun. That sucks.
It does suck, man.
Especially when like everyone's in like a cranky mood and then you just punch their chicken sandwich as hard as you can. Or
like a friggin' burrito. It could be something that's not a sandwich. Dude. You know what I mean?
Dude.
Yeah, it sucks. It's the worst. But when you get someone, it's like so fulfilling. You're like, oh, I freaking got him. But then you're like, now you're paranoid. It's coming back at me eventually.
I would just be like, all right, I'm sorry, man. Here's $10. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I gotta give him the boost to make him feel better. I don't know.
Not me. I did it to somebody once. This kid we brought with us he was taking pictures of us, and he did it to me. So I got him back, but I really overdid it. I was like, "Fuck you, silly!" Like, just stupid.
Dude,
man.
I mean, I guess that's it. Listen, if you're gonna dish it out, you got to be ready to take
exactly,
it.
dude. Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Tell me about driving through Gary, Indiana.
Oh man, have you ever been to Gary?
I've definitely driven through it. I don't know if we've ever stopped or played. I know we've been to Fort Wayne a ton, but I'm not sure about
Fort
Gary.
Wayne, okay. So shout out to Gary. If anyone that lives in Gary, shout out. That's awesome. I don't know. So long story short, I have my friend Evan Wilson. Shout out to Evan. He is from Indiana, and he used to tell me stories about Gary. Like, dude, you do not want to like stop in Gary. You don't want to get gas there. You don't want to do anything there.
Hold on. Is it like the meth capital?
It's gotta be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have stopped there, and we like stayed in a hotel, and they were like, just don't go this way. We were like, okay.
Yeah. No, it's like, well, there was like the first time we pulled through there's just like a car wash, and it just says best hand jobs in town, like written on the wall. And we're like,
so naturally you guys pulled over and
yeah. So I don't know what it is, but every time we play Chicago, I'm driving and I miss an exit, and we wind up driving through Gary. Like, that's like, dude, it's happened 4 times in a row.
That's funny.
And we've been playing Chicago a lot, so it's been happening a lot. But it looks like an apocalypse town. Like, when you pull up, like, everything is, it sucks. It's sad to see like a place so like
run down.
Yeah. Run down. But it's just like, it's like old buildings, just like empty. There's like a bodega every couple of blocks, and that's like it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just funny to me that like my friend Evan was always like, dude, don't go to Gary. Like, that's just a place that's the wrong part of town. You don't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And then like eventually I hit him up, and I'm like, dude, it's so funny. Like, every time we drive through, we wind up in Gary, Indiana, the one place that we're supposed to avoid.
Yeah.
It's just like you stop at a red light and you're just like, the door's locked. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, we're good. Like, but I know, I'm pretty sure it's like, right, and the drug meth stuff is like pretty bad. Like,
yeah, if I remember correctly, it is. It's not a great area for. It's great for meth, but it's not great for anything else.
If you like meth, like, that's the spot.
You're vacationing in Gary, Indiana, if you love meth.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Gary. So sorry to anybody if this offends anybody, I'm so sorry. But yeah, Gary, Indiana. Every time, just the one place we don't want to be, we always end up there. But
that's too funny. One time we stopped for gas in Mississippi or Missouri, one of the two, and it was like right off the thruway. And we pull in, and there's this off-duty cop, and there's bars on the window, but we had to stop. We had no gas, so this guy comes out. He's an off-duty cop. He's like, "You boys ain't from around here." We're like, "No, clearly the New York plates." What gave it away?
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, "I'm only staying because you're here." We're like, "What?" He's like, "If you turn left out of this parking lot, there are guys waiting to jump you right there. I guarantee it." We're like, "Okay." He's like, "So go back the way you came and don't stop." Like, sick, man. So it's got that same kind of vibe of like, we shouldn't be here, you know?
Well, that's like, that's exactly what, like, driving through Gary, every time there's just people walking down the road, and they're just like looking at you like, all right, you're not from here.
Yeah.
And you definitely have something inside of that bus. And I'm like, we do. But,
I gotta get inside that bus.
It's like, you are not taking this 5150, bro.
Over my dead hands.
Yeah.
What's one of the funniest moments you can remember on tour? Could be anything.
Besides
the
the
milk.
milk in the manhole. Funniest moments. Jeez. Dude, that's so tough because we definitely you know how it is. Like touring as like a DIY band is just a funny moment. Like
Yeah.
we're like we registered our bus like the morning that we were leaving for tour. So like I guess that's a funny moment. Like where everyone's like, "Oh, are you guys like ready for touring?" We're like, "Yeah, it's good. Yeah, hell yeah." And then we're like, "Oh, like,
we just got one thing we have to do.
yeah, we gotta register. We gotta renew our registration before we head out." So like getting up at like 5 a.m. to like, go register. Like, so like I guess that's a funny moment in like a more serious way. I don't know.
Yeah. Have you guys ever had any like near death experiences? Any car accidents? Anything like that?
Nothing like bad. We just got our first like tire blowout after 8 tours. So that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
We were in, where the heck were we? I remember that night we played in like some random pizza shop.
Was it in Louisville?
It wasn't Louisville.
No, okay.
I know the place you're talking
Spinelli's.
about. Spinelli's. Yeah. No moshing by the pizza ovens.
Nope.
Oh. It's not that one, but it's something. It was something like Missouri.
Yeah.
But we were driving in the middle of nowhere and we got a blowout. And thankfully, like where we were on the highway, there was like a roadside assistance place like 2 minutes away. So we got lucky with that. Oh, how
convenient.
Yeah, dude. We no, hey, we got so lucky. I'm not complaining because we still made the show. We missed the first band, but we were still able to play. So it worked out.
Hell yeah.
The only other thing I could think of as far as like an accident was we were driving through Maryland, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we were like cutting through a town to just avoid traffic because I'm sure like if you've ever driven near like that Washington, D.C., Baltimore area, the traffic is crazy.
Yeah, it's like 8 lanes or whatever.
Dude,
it's ridiculous.
Of traffic. It's like not moving.
Yeah.
So I remember we were cutting through like a small town just to like save like probably 10 minutes. But we were sitting at a red light. I was driving. And I don't know, my guess, because I looked in the mirror, there was somebody like picture like 2 lanes at a red light. And like, you know, like when like if someone's like looking at their phone, they'll like look up and there's traffic. So I think they went to swerve into the other lane, but the other lane was our vehicle. So they wound up like completely sideswiping us and just dragging their car along the side of our vehicle. And like they completely, their whole like front steering was gone, that they couldn't drive away. Like it was totally blown out. They tried to take off. Yeah. Which was crazy. They like, we had one of our guys like jump out just to like, so we could like get their plate or something, but they were trying to take off and like they couldn't because there was no steering in their front thing. But then like I looked at our bus and there was just like a scrape mark, and I just like looked at the guys and I was like, yo, I think we're good. And like they were all sitting there like, what? Because it was loud, like it was a big bang and this, but we didn't like a big scrape. And I was like, I think we're good, guys. And they're like, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, like I think we're okay. So then again, we still made the show in Baltimore. So thankfully the 2 car related issues worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you guys do on your off days? You guys do anything cool? Like, have you ever gone to like a spring and just floated down the spring?
No, that sounds awesome.
Hiking. I've done that and it's terrifying. I'm just saying.
Is it? It's actually, you're like, this is going to be sick, and then you're actually terrified.
No, it was amazing, but like you just see every snake and turtle swimming towards you at all times. It's just terrifying.
Yeah, no, I'm good. And you get like some weird parasite in your wiener or something. Yeah.
Well, you don't think about that stuff, or try not to, at least when you find a tube on the road and you put 4 of you on it. So one guy sitting and the rest are hanging on. Yeah, it's terrifying.
Oh my God.
It was great though. It was awesome.
That's sick. That's awesome. Dude, it's funny, like on off days, we've always either had to like drive and like the off day was put there because we have to drive, or like I remember one time in Indianapolis. We went to the Indianapolis Zoo, and everything was closed. So like it's already like a cloudy day, and we're like, yo, let's go to the zoo. And I remember Nick, the guy who fell in the manhole, he has Lyme disease right now, so he's miserable, and he's like, dude, I don't want to go to the zoo. Like, that sounds so whack. And we're like, like, everyone else wants to go. Like, let's just go. And he's like, all right. And then we get there, and there's
he was
like
totally right.
Dude, no monkeys. There was like this one, it was like an orangutan, but it was like super depressed looking. And I remember it was like sitting there, and it like threw up its food and then just started eating it. And I remember like looked up at us like super droopy eyes and sad. And I was like, dude, this sucks.
Yeah, that does suck.
Like it was the worst zoo I've ever been to. Like there was nothing. Like you would like walk up to it and be like, oh, this is like giraffes. And it's like, well, where are they? There aren't any. So yeah, on our off days, I don't think we've had a fully successful off day yet of doing something super sick.
Man, you guys will get there, man.
We'll get there.
One day it's going to happen. You'll be like, that was sick.
Yeah. It's also been like one of those things where it's like, we usually will play on a Monday night because it's like, all right, we can at least try to sell some merch and make a couple bucks versus
sure.
like, you know, sitting in a Walmart parking lot.
Spending money.
Yeah, playing like Switch or something, you know.
I mean, that doesn't sound bad to me, but
our off days are so bad. I remember like we had an off day in a Walmart parking lot, and we were like in the middle of nowhere. There was nothing to do. And it was so bad that Flavio, our guitar player, went inside and he bought Jumanji.
The new one?
No, like the board game.
Oh, the game. Okay. Hell yeah, dude.
Like, dude, like, I don't know. That's like the last board game I feel like most people would like me. And like, I love you, Fabio. If you're listening, I love you, dude. But like, he like walks back out. He wanted to get like, he was trying to get like, what's that game? A Can Jam?
Yeah, Can Jam.
Frisbees
that was actually
like,
created in Buffalo.
Was it really?
Yeah, somebody in Buffalo came up with that.
Yo, shout out.
Hell
Can
yeah.
Jam.
Hell yeah, dude.
And like Can Jam is sick, but like we're in this minibus and we don't have a trailer, so we're packed. And he's like, oh yeah, it's just these like cans. I'm like, dude, we don't have room for Can Jam. Like we can't have Can Jam. I'm sorry, dude. So then he comes back with Jumanji. And then he's like, dude, we're gonna play Jumanji. And we're like,
go get the Can Jam, dude.
All right. Pretty much. But long story short, we wound up playing Jumanji in a Walmart parking lot. And like we had a good time, but like, dude, Jumanji like kind of sucks.
Yeah, there's no Robin Williams or like real monkeys or anything in it. Yeah. Bullshit.
No. And like without all the crazy stuff in the movie, like the game is whack.
Oh, for sure, dude. It's just a board game.
but like not even. It's like, oh, you're in a forest and now you have to get out, and then you like roll dice like, oh, now you're out, and it's like, oh, okay.
That's great, man.
Cool.
Have you guys ever been overseas?
No, but going back to Flavio, he's originally from Brazil.
Okay. And
we're planning on sometime next year we're gonna fly over to Brazil and hopefully do like a week or two of shows there.
That's awesome.
So
That's
he's got a bunch of friends over there, and we've also been talking to a band from Spain about going over there too. So we have definitely like plans and ideas of doing it. It's just a matter of like paying for flights. I think it'll probably be like the biggest obstacle
for sure. Yeah. But it's in the works.
Yeah.
Very
We're trying. It's funny you brought that up because we were just talking about that last week, and we're trying to figure out like how we can actually like do it.
Right. So. What's your favorite thing about touring?
Like besides playing?
Yeah, I mean, aside from that.
Obviously playing is like, obviously that's
you get to do the thing you're trying to spend your life doing.
You do it.
Yeah.
Unless you have like diarrhea, then it sucks. Because like you a lot of times you don't have time to eat good, and then a couple of days in, your stomach's feeling a little whack. And I feel like every tour I'll have like a show or two where I'm like a little queasy, and I'm like, yeah, playing a show feeling like that kind of stinks. Mm-hmm. Aside from that, I mean, it's funny because like I'll talk to like family members and they're like, oh, it's so cool. Like, you get to see so many places. And like, yes, but no. Because it's like, yeah, like you're driving and then you get to see like the Speedway gas station.
Yeah.
And then like the venue. And then like if you get to the venue early, which usually you don't, you're usually late for load in or right on time. You see what's on that block. But
you're like, the interstate's beautiful, man.
Yeah, the interstate's sick, dude. No, but dude, it really like getting to be to so many places we've been. Like we've played Texas quite a few times now, and like that's one of my favorite places to go, just because like it's such a cool place. It's so different from New York, which I'm sure you're very familiar with.
Yeah.
It's just a totally different vibe. So I think just like being in places that actually feel like I'm somewhere else, if that makes sense.
For sure, yeah.
Because you could go to a lot of like towns and it just feels like the town you grew up in. But I don't know, like definitely seeing different places, trying different weird places to eat, playing the shows, and I don't know. That's probably the. I love the whole thing. I don't know. Touring is definitely.
It's kind of a vague question, I know.
Yeah, no. It's cool. I don't know if I'm giving like a crappy answer.
No, you're good. You're good. What's one of your favorite things that you've eaten on tour? Like something that you typically wouldn't have at home?
Well, I mean, I guess the obvious answer would be Buc-ee's.
Okay. See, I've never been to Buc-ee's, and everybody says Buc-ee's or brings it up. So I have no idea.
All right. So I'll give like the obvious answer of like Buc-ee's for like a touring band is like a sick thing. Cause the first time we went there, we spent like 5 hours there. And it was like, I remember we had gotten into town early and we had like the whole day before the show that night. And we were in somewhere in Florida. I want to say like St. Augustine or something like that.
Okay.
In Florida. And we got there, we put air in the tires, we got gas, and then we had lunch. And it was our first time trying like the brisket sandwiches, the barbecue and everything. Dude, they have banana pudding. That's super awesome and good if you're into that. And then we hung out there and we were like, yo, we should have dinner too. So then we went back in and then we had dinner as well. So, and they have like, dude, they have the stall doors that go all the way down. So you have like privacy.
Yeah.
So when you're like pooping, it's not weird.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, dude, Buc-ee's is the obvious answer. But other than that, I can't think of where the heck it was. But I remember eating at this barbecue. It wasn't even, I was doing merch for my brother's band on a different tour. But it was a barbecue place in a gas station. But it was like a famous, like it was on one of those, like, it was probably on like Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives or something. Mm-hmm. And I want to say it was in Oklahoma.
Okay.
But it was like a gas station with a barbecue place inside, and it was like probably some of the best barbecue I've ever had.
Wow. At a gas station.
So that's yeah, dude. Like I
believe it. Down there they do things different.
And then there's a place called Pecan Lodge in Dallas, Texas. That's another barbecue place. So those are probably like my three favorite so far.
Awesome. Do you have any more stories you want to share before we start to wrap things up here? It's totally up to you.
Other than, actually, going back to that barn show, we had Jake from Actor Observer with us on that tour. Mm-hmm. And he was driving us out of there, and like the drive, this was the first tour with the mini school bus that we had. And like this is day 3 or 4, and we're like pulling out of the barn after playing, and like he like floored it to get in front of a car, and we completely bottomed out and completely blew the back fender off the bus.
What? Like
bent bad, yeah. Not bad. And then like I remember we hit, and then he just kept driving, and we're like, oh, we're probably fine. And then we get to where we're eating, and we get out, and we're like, oh shit. And everyone's like, Jake, what the hell, man? And everyone was mad at Jake. And I remember we ate at a CC's Pizza, and it was so depressing.
Did they go,
'Cause we
welcome
just-
to CC's whenever you walked in? Hell yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
And it's just like crying children and like senior citizens.
Yeah. Yeah. They have like the
Everything.
weird, shitty pizza.
Dude, it just tastes like hot water.
It's like cardboard. Yeah. It's been
I remember,
clearly
like-
been sitting out all day.
Yeah. And like I remember eating like the fettuccine Alfredo and it just tastes like water noodles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like everything's but I guess it's cool for like $8. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you're like on tour and you need food
Yeah.
to like last the next 3 days, you just crush it
Yeah.
there for sure.
That was, dude, going back to that, like being in the middle of nowhere, it was literally like that barn. There was a Walmart, and then somewhere along the line there was a CC's, and that's what we ate. So,
Man, eating on a
Yeah.
budget. That's all.
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Absolutely. I can't say
Yeah.
I haven't been there multiple times. So
Yeah. It's like, all right, I guess it's chips and a Gatorade tonight. You know?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your guys' future plans?
So June 29th, we head out for it's like a 40-day run or something like that. But
Who's on
we're
that?
doing so the first leg we're doing with The Undertaking from California.
Shout out Austin.
Shout out Austin, another band you've had. And then we have a couple shows with Luca. They're another band from Chicago.
Mhm.
Then we hit some Canada shows. We're hitting Canada for the first time, so that's cool.
Nice.
And we're doing a couple of those shows with Stasis. They're another band on No Sleep. Definitely check them out.
Very cool.
And then California, some West Coast stuff we're doing with Cell Damage. And then we're doing some Texas shows with Koning Store. And then just working our way back home from there. So it's going to be a long one, but it's our first time on the West Coast and our first time hitting Canada. So it's good that we're hitting like some new areas and stuff. So I'm stoked.
That's exciting, man. Very, very cool.
Yeah. Dude.
I thank you so much for being on, man. This is a lot of fun. I had a blast.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
Great stories. If there's anything else you want to promote, now would be the time.
Our record came out last year. It's called Progress Regress, out on No Sleep Records. Definitely check it out. Other than that, you can follow us on Instagram, Godseyes LI. That's where we're usually posting what we have going on. And planning for some new music next year. And hopefully a single and some other stuff coming out soon. So keep an eye out.
Absolutely. Again, thank you so much, man. This was a lot of fun. Everybody, thank you so much for sticking around, watching, listening. Make sure you tell a family member, a friend, spread the word. Make sure you check out everything Godseyes has got going on. Go see them on tour, listen to their record, pick up some merch, anything you can do to help them. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, bitch.